The Lakers, just 6 or 7 years ago, were winning championships. And now here they are, one of the worst teams in the league. But they've acquired some pieces. They've got some young players. D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., Brandon Ingram. They've got some potential. They need to take the next step, start building towards the playoffs, towards winning a championship again, and bringing back that culture to LA. And that's what I plan on helping them do. So today, in this video, we're just going to go over each individual player, what I see in them, if I think they can stay, if they're part of the future, if they need to go, what their potential is, how I think they can help us. So I'm just going to go through each player. The first player I want to talk about is D'Angelo Russell out of Ohio State, drafted number 2 overall in 2015, and I really like him. He's got a lot of potential as a point guard. Some people say maybe shift him over to a shooting guard. I'm going to look into that, but he can shoot the three, he can shoot off the dribble, he makes plays, he's a good passer. His defense is a little suspect right now, but he's young, so we'll give him some time, maybe develop that perimeter defense. But I think he's got potential to lead the team. I really like him. I think he's a franchise piece, a mainstay for the future. A lot of people, he's been in trade talks a lot. A lot of people don't think he can be the guy for them, but personally I do, and I'm looking forward to seeing what I can get out of him in the future. The next guy I want to talk about is Julius Randle out of Kentucky. Missed his whole first season because of a broken leg. He's strong. He's a good rebounder. His inside scoring layups, dunks, that's good. I don't know if he's got a mid-range jumper. It's kind of there, but sometimes it disappears. He really can't shoot the three at all. His defense, like perimeter defense and inside D, are iffy. He is a playmaker, though. You get him the ball, he'll make some plays. He's looked solid in little stretches, but I don't know, because I like to run the spread pick and roll with the 1 and the 5 and have a stretch 4, and he really doesn't spread the floor at all. And if you're going to keep him for the future, you're going to have to really, everybody else on the floor is going to have to spread the floor for him to be there, because he's going to clog the paint, and if you can't run the pick and pop with him, he's going to have to roll every time. So he's a little iffy. I'm definitely going to get him in the gym, have him shooting mid-rangers like I do right now, have him shooting some threes, see what I can do about that, see if I can get his defense better. Maybe, I think his highest potential is maybe like a Tristan Thompson, where he's just grabbing rebounds, setting screens, he can switch out on guards on defense. That's what I'm really hoping for him. But Thompson's a center, and Randall's only 6'9". He's already a small power forward. I don't know if he can bump down to the center. We'll have to see. He's going to be a project. The next guy on the list is Larry Nance Jr. out of Wyoming, a late first-round pick. He's 23. He's another undersized power forward, a lot like Randle. He's 6'9". He can't shoot the three. His mid-range, he doesn't really have a mid-range game. He'll get you rebounds and dunks and put it back inside. His defense is solid. He's not a great defender, but he's a solid interior defender who can switch out on guards, and he'll try his best. I'm not saying he's great, but he's not terrible either. He's a lot like Randle. I feel like we've got 2 power forwards who can't really shoot and are energy guys, so we'll just start one. We'll start Randle, probably bring Nance off the bench. We're probably not going to be able to have 2 of them, so one of them is eventually going to have to go. I'm really just going to get both these guys in the gym shooting. All their training is going to be dedicated to getting the deep 2-pointer and the 3-pointer going, and really whoever can develop, if they can spread the floor and run a pick and pop with them, I'll probably keep them. So they're just going to have them in the gym shooting, and we'll see who can develop that shot and who can keep developing that defense, because Nance is a little bit better defender, but Randle's a little bit better shooter. So whoever can improve both of those areas the most will probably be the keeper, and then we'll have to see what's out there on the market if we want to get rid of the other one. There is a possibility we could keep both, though. I don't want to say for sure one of them are going to go. That's a maybe. The next guy I want to talk about is Nick Young. We all know him. He's a shooter. He's a sharp shooter. He'll hit the three. He'll hit the mid-range. He'll pull up off the dribble, drains anything far, but he's always been known not to really play defense. Going to hope to try to get him to buy in on the defensive side. He's on a 1-year deal. He's 31. He's not really in our future plans. I'm thinking maybe if we can really get him to buy in on the defensive side, and he could show his value as maybe a 2-way wing. I wouldn't necessarily say a 3-and-D wing, because he's never going to be a great defender, but if I can at least get him to to try his best on the defensive end. I'm thinking maybe a contender that needs a shooter, maybe the Oklahoma City Thunder, maybe some other teams like Memphis who they need a guy to spread the floor so they can run their pick and roll, and they can live with the fact that he's not a great defender. I'm hoping that maybe a team like that would give us a second-round pick for him or a young guy with potential. That's kind of what I'm thinking. He's going to get some playing time in the games just to get him out there, show the other. We're just going to kind of like dangle him out there, give him 10, 15 minutes a game, show the other teams what he could do, because he's probably going to be in a limited role if he gets traded. I want to really get the young guys playing, so I don't want him to take up a ton of time. I'm not sure when we're going to trade him. We'll just see. We'll play him. We'll see when the opportunity comes along. If he stays for the whole year, then he stays. But we'll definitely explore those trade options here. About a couple weeks into the season, we'll see what's out there with him. Seems like forever ago that Thomas Robinson was a number 5 overall pick, but it was only 2012, so it hasn't been too long. He's 25. He's 6'10". He's another athletic rebounder. He's strong. You get it to him deep in the post, he'll score. On defense, he can move his feet, get out guard to guard, but inside he kind of gets beat around. He's on a 1-year minimum deal. He is kind of his last shot. We have a ton of rebounders on this team. I don't like his potential. I don't like how he can't really shoot at all. He's got no mid-range, no three-pointer. I'm not sure what we're going to do with him. Maybe probably a throw-in on a trade, maybe give him to another team, maybe the Brooklyn Nets. I think he's already been there, but a team that really wants to take a chance on him. If not, he's probably just going to be buried deep in our bench because we have a ton of centers and power forwards who can rebound, and Robinson can't shoot at all. The others can, and I just don't see there being much place for Robinson on this team. Next guy we're going to talk about is Tarik Black. I hope I said that right. Tarik Black, I'm not really sure. He's a really good rebounder. He's strong, and he's a good defender in the paint, and he can switch out on the perimeter, kind of guard some guards. He's not going to get killed out there, but you definitely don't want him out there every time. But the thing about him, he's 6'9", he's a center, he's 24, he's on a 1-year deal for around $6 million. I'm not really sure where he fits in with this team. We've got Zubac and we've got Mozgov, and Mozgov's he's on that huge contract. He's going to kind of be the mentor to Zubac because I think Zubac is our future. Black's on a 1-year deal. I'm not really sure I don't see him being in the future. He can't shoot at all. He just rebounds the ball. So maybe a team who needs a rebounder, who needs a big, a team that doesn't have many, maybe like the Boston Celtics would give us a second-round pick for him. I'm not sure. He'll get maybe 5 minutes a game. We'll see what I can get out of him. Maybe I'll end up liking him, but I'm thinking right now he's going to end up, maybe he'll just get thrown in a trade. Maybe we'll trade him, but we'll see. Corey Brewer was brought here, I think, acquiring a first-round pick from the Houston Rockets. Not completely sure, but he's a wing defender who can't really shoot the three, but here in the gym he is knocking down some shots. He's kind of a streaky three-point shooter. He'll get on streaks. He is a solid defender. He's 6'9", small forward, shooting guard. He's 30. He's on a 2-year deal, about $7-8 million a year. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do with him. Probably explore a trade. If a team needs a 3-and-D wing, if we put him out there and give him 15-20 a game, tell him to really get in the gym, shoot that 3-ball. Right now that 3-ball is looking good. If that's looking good and he's playing solid defense, maybe I can get away with trading him to a team and get that contract off the books. But it's not a terrible contract if we have to keep him. It's not going to kill us. It's not like we're going to be a huge player in free agency this year or next year. I'm really focused on getting all the contracts off within 2 or 3 years, so then we can really go out there and get stars. But right now he's just going to be a veteran. We'll maybe acquire a pick for him. I'm not sure. We'll give him 10-15 a game like the other veterans, and we'll see what the other teams think about him. The next guy is Jordan Clarkson, the diamond in the rough the Lakers found in the second round a few years ago. There's some questions about whether he's a point guard or a shooting guard. That's what I'm not really sure about because he already talked about how I'm not sure what D'Angelo is. So then you've got Clarkson. He can handle the ball. He can shoot off the dribble. He's got a mid-range shot. He's got a three. He's a playmaker. His defense is a little iffy. He's a lot like Russell. He's just a little older, and I'm not sure whether I want to bring him off the bench or start him and Russell. I'm probably gonna try both ways throughout the season. Maybe play them just start them together at the point guard and shooting guard, and then some bring Clarkson as a ball handler off the bench, kind of a scorer off the bench, and I'll see which really works better. I really like to surround a I really like to run the spread pick and roll and just put shooters around. And Clarkson is more like the ball handler in the pick and pop or the pick and roll. So I'm going to see if he can catch and shoot. If not, I think maybe bringing him in for Russell when we want to sit D'Angelo down would be the best option. But I'm not completely sure. We're just going to have to see. Brandon Ingram, the Lakers' number 2 overall pick, is the next guy we're going to talk about. He's an athletic small forward. He can shoot the ball. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid-range. He can post up. He's only 19. I think he's probably 2 or 3 years away from really showing what he can do. But he's 6'9", so if you want to play small, you can throw him down at the power forward. He can spread the floor. I think he can handle the ball, too, in the pick and roll. That's what I'm hoping. This year, I'm going to put the ball in his hands some, run the pick and roll, see what he can do. We'll post him up. We're just going to let him do – he can kind of do everything, and we're just going to let him work on all the areas of his game. He comes into the NBA as an average defender and an average shooter, so he's kind of average at everything. And I'm just hoping that with giving him a lot of playing time, that he can go from average to good or great at everything. Now I still think it's going to take 2 or 3 years. His body's got to fill out. He's got to get bigger, stronger, improve everywhere. But we've got time. We're rebuilding, so we're just going to give him time and see what he can do. Ivica Zubac is the next guy I want to talk about. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. I'm not really sure. He's the second-round pick of the Lakers. He's 19 years old, out of Croatia. A lot of people thought he'd be a late first-rounder, fell to the second round. I think that was a really good pick of them. He's coming into the NBA already a really good rebounder. He's really strong. He can score if he's deep in the paint, inside, close to the hoop. Here, when I took him out and was shooting with him, he seems to actually have a decent mid-range shot. I'm hoping I can extend that out farther. I don't know if he's really ever going to be able to shoot the three. I'll definitely see, but I'm not expecting that. But if I can at least have a decent mid-range shot, that would definitely be good. His inside defense is all right. He's not good on the perimeter. He's got slow feet like a lot of guys, but in the paint, he gets his hands up. He'll block some shots. Solid defender. His IQ, he's not too smart right now. He just came over from Europe. It's gonna take some time for him to understand the game. He's definitely got some potential, though. We're definitely going to see if he can be the center of the future, starter, or maybe coming off the bench in the future. We're going to have to see. I'm going to give him a lot of time. We've got other centers, but he is the main one I'm focused on to see what he can turn into in the future. He's also, I don't think I mentioned, he's 7'1", so he's tall. The other huge contract that was given out was 4 years, $64 million to Timothy Mozgov from the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's 7'1", he's a center. He's 30 years old, making $16 million a deal. He's a lot like the other situation. He's strong. He'll score inside. He can post a little bit. He's got a mid-range shot, but that does not extend out to the three. You really can't develop him. He's 30. He's a solid interior defender in the NBA. He's on the huge contract. He's definitely not a part of our future. I'm hoping he can kind of mentor Zubac, show him the way. Like I said with Deng, I'm not sure anyone's going to trade for him now with his huge contract. Like Deng, we're probably just going to have to keep him for at least a couple years, and then maybe if a team is low on centers and needs a center in a few years, then he won't have the long-term commitment just like Deng, and maybe they'll trade for him then. We're not going to get much out of him probably eventually, but right now he's just going to play. Probably going to start Zubac on the bench. Then as the season goes along, we'll see how it goes. But he's just going to be a veteran on this team, help the young guys right now. Tyler Ennis, I believe, was acquired in that Brewer trade. I'm not sure, but I know he came from the Rockets. I'm pretty sure he's a point guard. He's a playmaker. He'll shoot the three, the mid-range. He's not a great defender, kind of struggles defensively. He's 6'3", 22, a young guy. I believe he was a first-round pick a few years ago who really has never got the chance to play. I'm going to let him be the backup point guard off the bench and give him time and see what he does. We're just right away from the start of the season. I want to see what he's got. I'm going to give him 20 minutes off the bench as the backup point guard for the first month. And after the first month, I'm going to evaluate him and see where he's at. If he's only 22, he's on a 1 year, $2 million deal. I'm not sure where he is with our future. He is young. He is a playmaker who can shoot, so I do like that. It looks good, but he's not. His abilities look good, but he's never proved that he can translate it to the court. if you know what I mean. So we'll give him time at the beginning of the season, first month, like I said, let him prove what he can do, and I'll come back and let you guys know how that's going after about a month. We'll see where he's at and what I think we should do with him. Metta World Peace is the next guy. He's a veteran, a two-way wing, a 3-and-D wing, plays D, shoots the 3. He's strong. He's 36. He's a solid defender. He's on a 1 year, about $1 million deal. This might be his last year in the league. Well, he's just going to be a veteran leader for this team. Maybe if he wants to go to a contender, if a team needs a 3-and-D wing who's a contender and Peace wants to go, I would definitely grant his wish and let him go to the contender. Maybe he's a buyout option. Maybe we keep him for the whole year, or we trade him for like a second-round pick or a prospect to a contending team. We'll just see. I'll give him some time. We'll probably get 5-10 minutes a game. We're just going to see what happens with Peace. He's not a huge part of our future, so we'll see what happens. Getting down the list here in a little bit, next guy we're going to talk about is Luol Deng, who just signed a 4-year, $72 million deal. He's the real definition of a 3-and-D wing. He's a lockdown defender. He's a streaky 3-point shooter. He's strong. He's the veteran on this team. He's 31. I think I already said that, but he's going to kind of be the mentor. I definitely don't like the contract. $18 million a year. That's a big part of our cap. I would like to use that on other people, but we're just gonna have to live with it. I'll explore trading him, but I don't think anybody's gonna take him. Even in this NBA league right now, where 3-and-D wings are at a premium and everybody wants them, 4 years, $72 million. We're probably just gonna have to live with him for a couple years, and then when there's a year or two left on it, I think then a team might take a chance on him since they won't have to commit long term to him. So we're probably just gonna have to hold on to him for a couple years. Definitely get him out there, help him. Hopefully he can be the veteran leader to the young guys like Ingram, kind of show him the way in the NBA, help him, teach him. That's what I'm really looking for in Deng, and he's a good guy. I think he'll be able to do that. So even though I don't love the contract, we're just gonna have to live with it for a couple years. It's not like we're gonna be going out getting stars right away. We got to build this young team. He'll help lead them, help build him. And then right when the time comes along to really hit the switch and start winning, maybe we'll get rid of him. The last guy on the roster, David Nabwa, I think that's how you say it. Not completely sure. I got to get that figured out. But he got pulled up from the D League. He's a lockdown defender. He's strong. He's 6'4", 23 on a 1-year minimum deal. He's a shooting guard, small forward. I actually like this guy. I think he's got potential because unlike a lot of young guys you get who can score and got to work on the defense, we've got a lot of guys like that on this team. But this guy, he got pulled up from the D League because he's a lockdown defender. He will shut you down on the perimeter, and he can't really shoot. Although here in the gym, he's hitting the mid-range shot. He's showing some potential from that, so I'm just going to have him in the gym, keep pounding away at that mid-range shot. Then once he gets that down, we're going to push him out to the 3. All his training, everything I'm going to have this guy do is going to be geared towards getting this guy to be able to shoot the ball. I think he can become a real asset. He's 23, which not crazy young, but not crazy old. He's had to fight through the D League. I really like D League guys because I think they have a motivation and they don't want to go back down to the D League. So I'm going to tell this guy, get in the gym, shoot the 3. If you can make the 3 ball, if you can be a 3-and-D wing, you're gonna stay on this team. So I'm going to give him time. I'm probably going to give him 10, 15 a game. Just tell him, get out there, play D, shoot the 3, and we'll reevaluate him when I do with Ennis, and we'll see where he's at. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this first video of the rebuilding of the Los Angeles Lakers. In this video, I really wanted to just go through each player individually and what I think they can become and what their potential is, and if they're going to be here for the long term, or if they're just kind of a veteran who could potentially be traded. And in the next video, we're actually going to play the first game and really get to see these guys play, and then actually find out who can actually be here for the long term and who's got to